Hello and welcome back to the Railway Stand. Tonight Port Vale take on Leyton Orient under the lights at Vale Park. David Dunn has officially left the club, and it's been announced that the head of the academy, Will Ryde, alongside his fellow academy staff Matt Dunn and Danny Lloyd, will be the interim managers of the football club. This was announced on the official website along with a statement from David Flitcroft, which reads as follows. Firstly, I'd like to thank Will, Matt and Danny for assisting with first team operations in this short period whilst we search for a permanent Port Vale manager. As a club, we are determined for the new appointments to match our long-standing values and long-term ambitions, and will ensure the correct recruitment processes are followed throughout. Our collective priority now is on the pitch performance and maintaining our League One status, with the immediate focus on tonight's match. David Flitcroft seems to have conceded on his initial point that relegation is not in our vocabulary, and this seems to be a reaction to the matches that we've played and the style of play that we've had. Our attention as a football club and as a fan base does turn to tonight and the fixture that we play, in hopes that we can get something out of this game to try and regenerate ourselves so we can actually try and stay in this division with a bit of fight. We will have to wonder if changes will be made to reflect the sacking of the manager, but more likely than not we're going to be setting up with the same three at the back, two wing-backs, with David Flitcroft's style of football that he wants to play and promote, than we are with anything else, considering Andy Crosby took training yesterday. Onto the form guide. Port Vale come into this having conceded 8 goals in the last 5 and off a catastrophic... Port Vale come into this off the... Onto the form guide, Port Vale come into this conceding 8 goals in the last 5 and having a catastrophic defeat to bottom of the league Fleetwood Town. We were the much inferior side, and the game against Portsmouth also saw us be an inferior side, but not really by much considering they were very poor, but we still managed to lose that game 1-0 because of our lack of prowess in front of goal. Leyton Orient sit 9th in the league, with 4 wins and a draw in the last 5 games, including a 3-0 win away at Portsmouth. A side that's looking to finish in the upper mid-table, dictated by the points tally, and not an easy opponent for anybody in the division, never mind us. Port Vale and Leyton Orient last faced each other in 2022, which was our promotion season. I didn't realise it was that long ago, and that played out to be a 0-0 draw. With all that in mind, Leyton Orient looked like the much stronger side heading to this fixture and the clear favourites to win the game. The only way that Vale will be able to come back from this is if we set up behind the ball and just try and be awful to play. Onto the lineup now. This could theoretically take many forms because, as I said earlier, Andy Crosby took training, so we don't know whether or not they're going to be playing a different formation. But assuming that the formation is going to be the same as Andy Crosby played, as Darryl Clark played, as David Flitcroft seems to like, we're going to be able to guess the starting 11 based on this formation. Up front, we have James Wilson and Ryan Loft, which pick themselves considering we don't have any more senior strikers in the squad. De Pepper will be on the bench and come on for Wilson around the 60th minute mark, but it's unlikely that he'll make a start, and it's not fair for him to start considering his age and the fact that we do have more experienced players that should be starting in front of him. For my midfield 3, I've gone for Chislett, Weir and Ojo, because Garrity and Gore still out means that Chislett and Weir have to start in the midfield, and I think that Funzo has to be put into the starting 11 given how poor Jason Lowe was last week, and the fact that we know Funzo Ojo to be League 1 level, and therefore we can trust him. He will have to return to his old form, but we know that the quality of player is there, and therefore it's much more likely that we're going to be playing Funzo Ojo than Jason Lowe tonight, in my opinion, and I think that we should. Coming on to both wing-backs, I've put Myton and Sang. Myton was the only player against Fleetwood that actually showed any sort of fight, that tried to run and create something with the ball, and I did feel a bit sorry for him that everyone else was so poor, because it meant that he had really no chance of creating anything or scoring a goal that day. Sang was played in the midfield against Fleetwood, thought he was poor. I think he is poor in the midfield. I think he's played much better when we've played him at wing-back this season. I think that's where he should return tonight, and I think it would be a really good improvement for the football club. For the back 3, I've gone for Laporta, Smith and Deborah. Iacovitti arguably played his worst game for the Vale against Fleetwood, and it should be reflective going into the team sheet tonight. If we could drop all 3 centre-halves, I personally would do, because I don't think any of them were good enough. I think they were all disgraceful against Fleetwood, but the reality is that because of the depth of the squad, we're going to have to be playing at least 2 of those defenders tonight. We don't know where Dan Jones is at the moment. I believe he is fit, but he's not in the squad in any sort of capacity over the last few match weeks. So until we see any type of confirmation that he is actually fit, I won't be commenting on it any further. We're going to be starting Smith in the middle. We're going to be starting Deborah outright. I think he was the least appalling of the back 3 last week, but his performance was still disgraceful and he will have to make up for that tonight. Connor Ripley then remains in goal. This is non-negotiable. The only real bad characteristic that he has at the minute is his distribution, but his distribution is still significantly better than Aidan Stone, and I think a lot of Vale fans forget that. And he's also a much higher quality goalkeeper in terms of shot stopping. With the instability at the football club, I think it would be brilliant if Vale are even able to snatch a point here tonight. We will be playing a good side. We're going to have to be horrible to play against. We're going to have to set up behind the ball. They are going to come to us with the expectation to win because they are the clear favourites tonight. I don't think it's reasonable to expect much of this squad. They've already proven they don't want to play for this football team, and they've proven that they don't have the quality to stay in League One. With that in mind, I'm going to go for a 4-0 Leyton Orient win. You could say I'm being pessimistic, but I genuinely don't see how we'd face up against a team like this and come away with a positive result. I'm hoping that it'll send the message that we need a manager, and we quickly act on that message. Today's audience question is who will be the next Vale manager. As I predicted, Gareth Ainsworth is the bookie's favourite. 4-1 odds of becoming the next Vale manager. A lot of people think he hasn't got the right style of football to keep us in the league, but beggars can't be choosers, and we're begging on our knees right now to get a competent manager to stay in the division and to steady the ship until the summer. Flitcroft's statement suggests that the football club is looking for a long-term manager rather than a short-term solution to keep us in the division, but like the equivalent of a League One Sam Allardyce. And only time will tell if he will manage to make another brilliant appointment such as the one at Clark, or whether it will backfire and we'll be sitting in the 4th tier in the summer. Please let me know in the comments below who you think will be the next manager. This has been the Railway Stand. Delighted to follow and report all of the issues on Port Vale. Thank you for watching and enjoy tonight's game.